Alright guys, we're going to be starting off this video with how to use a Roblox Studio plugin called EVC. So I already have it installed right here. Don't worry about these, but so first let's do a Ford Explorer. And then let's just do this one. We'll do this one. 2018. Perfecto. Alright. And then I'm also going to put a link in the comment section to this police kit. It's going to be what I use to build the police lights. So I'm just going to get a folder because I like it organized. So police kit. Just grab everything in this model. Put it inside the folder. Alright. Now let's pick a light bar. So these are like the visors. Let's do this one. Alright. So copied it, just put it in the workspace. Drag it over here. Rotate it. And then, since I like all my stuff organized, I'm gonna make a model and then name it lights. You don't have to do this, but it's just what I like to do. Inside the model, we're gonna add a part, and then just make this part small. Not too small where you can't see it, but bring it over to your visor on the left or right, pick which one, and then make it fit the outline or whatever you want to call it right here. So I want it to fit this, so I'm going to rotate it and just make it fit. Just like that. This is kind of rotated this way. So let's do it like that. And grab the green. Like that. And then once you're finished with your ion or your light, go to properties and then make this, since this is going to be my blue side, steel blue, which is right here, right next to smoky gray, this one. But then you're not done. Then you want to go to material and select neon, and now it's going to look like this or something like this, dependent on the color that you picked. Because this color doesn't really matter. It's just so you know which side is your blue and red. So we're gonna do this and then just put it onto this one. Then make it fit. Oops. Make it fit. Just like that. And then just continue it like that. There, we have our blue side. Just like that. And then I'm gonna do, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do blue or B and then 1, since this is gonna be our first blue light. And then just like this. So it's gonna look something like this on your blue side or your red side. But now that we're gonna do this on our red side, I'm gonna add another part. Just like this, drag the blue, and then lower this, just like that, and just make it fit. But it doesn't really matter how detailed you want it to be, so I like it so it actually fits back here. But now we're gonna do, I like terracotta, but just a type of red. And then the material, neon. and it's going to look something like that. And then just the same thing with the red side from what you did with the blue side, duplicating it too. If you don't know how to duplicate, it's Control D, like that. Oops. And then that is our red side. Now we're just going to do the same thing that we did to the blue side, but instead of B, we're going to do R, and then 1, R2, R3, R4. Now we have our blue and reds, just like that. Wasn't that hard. I'm going to give you a minute to do that. Alright, now thinking that you've already finished it or you've done it, I'm gonna start doing this part. So, I'm gonna grab this and then make it like put it onto your car. Or it doesn't have to be a Ford Explorer, it can be like a Charger, anything like that. But put it on your car. And then if you're asking why haven't we put it inside of the car yet, or the car's model, I'll tell you in just a second. But now that that's there, now we're gonna go into this and then click on body, and then it's gonna have everything in this, kind of like this, I guess. Then you're gonna make another model and then name it light bar. And then you're gonna grab this, just drag this entire model into the light bar. Just note that if you want to make emergency lights, it has to have the HASIS tune, or else it's either not going to be drivable, or you have a different type of car, or and you won't be able to put the lights on it. It needs to have HASIS tune. Alright, now we don't have any other lights, which is fine. We don't really need them, but if you want them, just find another light bar that you can use on the back. So like this one, the Dominator, or this one. You could use those to put on your car and just fill in those ions or neons, whatever you want to call them. But now that we're here, we're gonna the names that we put in, B1 through 4, R1 through 4, are for just pre-ioned or neon lights. So if you want, you can copy this and then put it inside of your workspace and then rename it pre-neon. And then there, now you have a pre-neon wheel and end force visor, or whatever visor you picked. Or you could do light bar. But we're going to change these lights. So since this is our left side on our blue, it's kind of like reading a book from left to right. But you want to rename it to F1 and then so on through these. And then now that we're on the red side, we're going to continue it F5, F6, F7, F8. You don't really have to do F. You can do FR or whatever you want. I just prefer F. You can do any letter, but for the back ones, you're going to want to do like B1, B2, B3, whatever, how many you have. But now that we have this done, we're going to open our plugin, EVC, and then if it has create vehicle like this, and you have something selected, so you don't have to use like a cage, but it says selecting cage or whatever your thing is called, or create vehicle or continue without, that means the car isn't compatible with EVC. So you're not going to be able to use that. But if it has HASIS tune, that it's going to be able to edit the vehicle. So let's start editing it. It's going to ask if you want to install emergency vehicle handler. And I'm going to show you what that is. So it's a plugin for HACE's tune. It's going to be in here. And then if you press install, which you should, or else it's not going to work, it's going to add this plugin right here, emergency vehicle handler. And then it's just, if you want to look at this code, if you understand the code, then you could look at this. But it's just so the plugin inserts the lights and stuff. But now that we have this selected, you're gonna see a lot of things. Return to main menu, which just returns you to this. Functions, sirens, light settings. We'll go over the sirens in a minute, but we're gonna make our lights first. But select a function. You can add functions, so it could be like lights or like white lights, stuff like that. Or you can import one, which is like actually, I don't know if the import button works, but I know if you add, it just makes a new function. Me personally, I haven't used this at all. But let's go into actually making the lights. So this is going to be stage 1. And if we press edit, you're going to see this. So it's you're going to have your colors, and then it's Q through Y. So just me going over it, QWERTY, or you can call it anything else, whatever you want. But we're going to start with blues. So we're going to press add section, and then now you have your first section. And now you have the plus for and minus for your lights. So if you press plus, adds another light. So we're going to add 8 lights, since that's how many lights we have on this visor. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. Alright. So now if we triple or double click on this, as I was saying, so we're gonna do F1, which is the first light that we have, and we're gonna press enter, and then now we have F1 through 8. So since this is our first stage, you can either do instant code 3, or if you want to do it like me, you can just make stage 1 through 3. So I'm just gonna add these, and then I'm going to press W for the red, oops, and that. So another way that you can delete stuff without using this little prompt, you can hold down shift and then press the minus, and then there. But if you want to add 5 columns to this, you have to hold shift and then press the plus. And then it's the same for this, just not with, so the columns are like this, but just like that. I was holding down shift and doing that. It won't do it for the same, so I'm holding down shift, pressing it, it doesn't do that. But since we only have this, it's gonna just flash like this, so we're just gonna delete all of these columns and make it so they don't flash. Just like that. Now we have our first stage. So since this is the only lights that we have on, we're going to go return of vehicle setup, and we're going to press add pattern, and then this is going to be our second stage. So I'm going to make a really widely used pattern. And by the way, it is very cap sensitive, so if you do something like that, it's not gonna work. Alright, so now we're going to make our stage 2 lights, which, as I was saying, they're very commonly used. So, let's just start with this. You can also do 3, but since that's just what it looks like. But now we're going to do the red side. And then this is your little space of the blank lights. So now it just looks like this if you have 3 and 3. But if you want 2 on 2, so just move this little space, 1 2 1 2 1 2. And now for a final pattern, stage 3. So I'm gonna add 8 more lights, F1, enter, and then we're gonna do this, that, and then our little space. And then our space again, and then our last space. So now this is what it looks like. You can, if you want it to look at least a little cleaner, you could do that. So it looks like it's transitioning. But you're gonna have to do, if you want to do that for this side, you're gonna have to do like this. Oh, wait, maybe. Like that. So I thought, yeah, like that. Just to make it cleaner. That's how you do that. But this is going to be our last stage, or stage 3. So then we're going to click this export button right here, and then export. And now you can just close out of this, because it'll save, since you exported it. And then we're going to do test here, and then we're going to try out the lights. I forgot to anchor the lights. Anchored. There we go. Now the lights will be there. See, now the lights are there. I wouldn't prefer this since it has this little one, but stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Doesn't really look that good with the visor, but I mean, there's our lights. And then I'm going to show you how to add sirens. So if we come over here, we're going to have all of these, but the main thing we're looking for is something like this. You can use one of these, not like you can use one of those, but the main reason, the main thing that I do is add a part into light bar, rotate it, and just make it so it matches up with this. So like I'm going for the Ford logo, so all the way up here. And then I'm gonna make it so it's small, but it's also not too on one side. Just like that. And then we're gonna set our transparency in the properties tab to 1, so people won't be able to see it. But we're gonna do can collide disabled, and then we're gonna also anchor this so your lights are there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just click on it and give it a second, and then we're gonna type middle, just like that. Then we're gonna go to the creator store and we're gonna press audio, And then the person that I most use is this guy, Rex_zigzag. And then we're going to press search. And he has all these lights. Like that. They're all really loud. But the main one that I'm going to do is Phoenix. So whale, yelp, phaser. And we're going to grab these, make sure they're not in this one. And now they're only in the middle. And now what you want to do is press enter or just click it again and then type whale. And then yelp. And then priority. And then you want to select all of these. How I did that is I clicked on this, held down shift, and then clicked the bottom one. Just like that. But the main volume that I usually do is 3.25. And then I also set it on looped. So now it's going to be really loud, but in game, it's going to be kind of quiet from where you are if you have it at 0.5. If it's at 3.25 or whatever volume that you usually prefer or use, then you will get like a really quiet siren. But we also need a horn, so horn. And now we're just going to do the one that's already preset to horn. We're going to do the same thing with the volume and the looped. Oops. And then looped. Just like that. But if I play those, it's going to be kind of really loud. So I'm going to get into the car, wait for the lights to be done, because that's how long it takes the all the stuff to actually enable. But now, if we press R, which so the preset ones that are keybound to your keyboard is R, T, Y, H. R is your whale, or your main long siren. T is yelp, or the whoa, whoa, whoa. And priority is Y, and it's this. Just like that. Now you made your very own police car that has lights and sirens. So it's not really that hard to do, but that's going to be the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped out a lot. If you have any questions, then go ahead and type them in the comment section, and then I will help you figure it out. Have a good day or night.